Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Harold.
Yeah, hi.
Wait, you were away?
Yeah, I was in New Jersey.
Okay. Because I kept sending you the things because I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I got him, but it was 3 hours off. It's makes a
Oh.
makes a big difference.
No, but I sent you the links. You got them, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
Harold, are you back?
yeah, I'm back now. Yes.
So Mario, did you see the email I sent you about Yaakov Yellen?
No.
Mario,
Yaakov yelling.
I CC'd you about 8 hours ago in the morning. I sent you an email, or I CC'd you on an email about a guy named Yaakov Yellen. Hello?
No, I didn't see it. Hold on. To my Gmail account?
To Mario. What do you mean? Yeah, CC Mario Horowitz.
Oh, okay. Now I see it. Are
Okay.
you trying to join?
Yaakov Yellen is one of the major attorneys at Walt Disney. And I met him when I went to Spain with Mark Shapiro. He's a really good guy. By the way, he has smicha from Rav Moshe Feinstein.
Wow.
He
Wow.
studied at he studied at Tiferes Yerushalayim.
Wow.
So he knows how to learn big time. And he found out about the Tzur Bashir and wanted to join, but couldn't get in. So I saw that guy, Rabbi Aaron Strike, you'll see, who had sent, like, they're trying to advertise to have other people join the shiur if they don't have a shiur. He had the wrong password there. If you take a look at my email, so he's going to fix the password.
Oh, okay.
The other people trying to get in, they couldn't. I think he shouldn't have a problem getting in. Do you need
But
to?
I need his phone to get him in the Zurba group, so I can send him a.
But as long as he knows the Zoom number and the password, he can get in. You don't have to do anything to let him in.
No, but I use the group to make the announcements. Okay.
No, I understand. So please send him an email to get his phone number so you can put him in the group. Okay.
Okay. Well.
Okay. Good.
All right.
So tomorrow night we will learn. We'll do the Daf at 7:30, and then we'll do the Tsurba at 8 o'clock.
There's a Young Israel meeting.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's interested, but there's that a Young Israel meeting from 7:30 to 9. They said.
Okay, so if you want, we'll have
tonight is the meeting, no?
Tomorrow,
Tuesday night.
Okay, Tuesday. So let's do the Daf Yomi.
7.
No, I think we should we'll do the Tsurba at 9 o'clock. We have no alternative.
Unless you want to skip, I think there's going to be questions and answers. Unless we just listen to the first half hour and then do the Tsurba at 8 o'clock and the Daf right afterwards.
You tell me. It's up to you guys. It's whatever you guys want to do is fine with me.
Don't you think that?
On?
What was that?
We can start 8:30.
Okay. No, Walter, we're talking about tomorrow night is a Young Israel meeting about the rabbis.
Starts at 7:30.
Why don't we do it? Why don't we say that the Tsurba will be at 8:30? That makes sense.
And what about the Gemara you're doing tonight? Anyway, today.
No, the Gemara. I would suggest we do the Gemara at 7 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Excuse me, 7 o'clock in the evening, a half hour before the Young Israel meeting.
Okay.
All right.
And then we have the meeting at 8:30. We'll do the Tsurba. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I think that works. Okay, well, tonight we're on Kuf Beis. Tonight we're on Kuf Beis, 102. Mantana Akiros. Who is the Tana that dealt with this case? Yesterday we had a case where people were sitting and eating, and then they moved their feet. That's Akira. They moved their feet to go somewhere else. There was a question, do they have to bench before they leave? And then when they come back, do they have to make a new bracha or not? So the Gemara says, Man Tana Akiros Rabbi Yehuda the Tanya. Chaverim shayu mesubim. You have a group of people that were eating. They're picking themselves up because they need to go to shul to daven or to hear a drasha. When they leave, they don't have to bench. They don't have to make a new bracha. They continue as if because they plan to come back all along. Because when they're eating something that requires a bracha afterwards, bim koiman, which benching is an example of that, then they don't have to make a bracha. Rav Yehuda, that's the Tanakama. Rav Yehuda, so Rav Yehuda qualifies that halacha. You know, when they don't have to bench when they leave and they don't have to make a new bracha when they come back, we're not the whole group left. Some of the group left, but some of the chaverim remained. But if they're all leaving, then they have to bench. When they come back, they have to make a new bracha. That's the sheet of Rabbi Yehuda as opposed to the Tanakh. Why? Because they're dealing with eating items that require a bracha afterwards. And that's why the Kishen Yoitzin Tun Bracha Mafreya. They don't need a benching. That means the Tanakama that said that when they leave, they don't have to bench. That's only items of food that require a bracha achrona, that they're allowed to do that. Because they got to come back anyways to that. You can't say the bracha achrona in the Yenemsveld. They have to say the bracha achrona where they ate. So they have in mind that they know they're coming back. That's why they don't have to bench when they leave. Aval dvarm she'ein tunin bracha lachrein bim koiman. But let's say they drank water or they ate something, fruit, that doesn't require a bracha achrona. So nafilu rabbanon kshen yoitzin tunin bracha l'mafreya. Then when they leave, there's no guarantee that they're going to come back because there's no requirement that they make the bracha where they ate it. So therefore, even according to Chachamim, the Tanakam of the Brisa we quoted would have when they left, they'd have to make a bracha first. Now, this obviously is a big kasha Rabbi Yochanan, who said that no matter what, you don't require them to make a bracha, no matter what you ate. So, Rabbi Yochanan. So, is this what we just learned? This Brisa kasha Rabbi Yochanan? Now, the Gemara says, what? First of all, we already asked the kasha that we didn't answer on Rav Yochanan. So what are you asking again? So the Gemara says, name Mahai Nami Tiyufta. Well, maybe from here is also a Tiyufta on Rav Yochanan from a second place. So there the Gemara says, Rav Yochanan, no. This piece of Gemara is not a kasha on me. Because who at the end of the dvorm shein tun brach lach rebim korban nami ain't tzrichim levarech. Really, the fact is, food that do not require a bracha achrona, they would also not be required to make that bracha before they leave. That which the Brisa is emphasizing that they're leaving to go somewhere, that's just to show you loidicha kochad Rabbi Yehuda. That's to show you how machna Rabbi Yehuda is. That the filu dvarim shetu'uni bracha lachrem bim koiman, that even if they ate bread, which requires benching, you'd think that even he would agree that they wouldn't have to bench before they left because they obviously have to come back and bench where they ate. It's not so. The only reason why Rabbi Yehuda allows them to leave without making a benching is time at dinichu mixas chaverim. He clearly said what the reason is. It had nothing to do with the type of food you ate, but rather, was there some of the chabura left in the house or not? But if they didn't leave a group at the home, so no matter what food they're eating. There's a brisa to support the sheet of Rav Chisda. If they were drinking wine, they have a wine party, and they went somewhere and they're going to come back, then they don't have to make a bracha achroina, they don't have to make a bracha rishoina when they come back. They rely on the original bracha that they made. Tana Rabbanah. B'nei Chabura Shai Musubim, a group of people that are eating Friday afternoon. V'kodesh alei hayom, and all of a sudden sundown happens. They get, Shabbos comes in, time-wise. Mivian lo koshel yayim. So they bring him, now, during the original meal, they're drinking wine. So now when Shabbos comes, they bring to one of them another kos shel yayin. V'omer lav kedushas hayom. And one of them makes kiddush. And then they bring a second kos, Mavin lo sheni, v'sheni omer lav birchas hamazon. No, on the same kos, no, and they bring him a second kos, and he branches on it. That's to complete that meal that they were eating in the afternoon, Div Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yosi Oimer Oichel v'Hoyle Chatzet. They don't have to make kiddush. They can finish the original meal until it gets dark. Then Gomru, once they finish that original Suda, they bring him a kos, Rishon Mevarchal of Birchas Hamazon. First, they have to bench for the original meal that they just finished. Basheni Oimer Lav Kedushas Hayom. And on the same kos, not a second kos, they make kiddush on that second kos. Excuse me. No, Vasheni, I learned wrong. The Asheni, they bring him a second kos, and on the second kos, he also makes kiddush. Except, you see, they reversed it. In the first case, he made kiddush and then he benched. In the second opinion, he benches and he makes kiddush, but both cases, they bring him 2 cups. Freit the Gemara Mai. Why didn't they make the kiddush and the benching on the same kos? You cannot do birchas hamazon and kiddush 2 mitzvahs, like the Rashbam says. Kloimar shtei mitzvahs. You can't do it. It looks like what? For example, you're going to the market and you have a certain package. Well, on the way, you're going to put another package to go to the cleaners. I mean, now mitzvahs, it looks like you're trying to pile on a number of mitzvahs on one coast. You're cheap. It looks like you're making a package. You're trying to potter yourself from mitzvahs and finish them quickly. So it's a bizaya into the mitzvah.
Don't we make by Shalosh Shudas, the Birchas Hamazon, the yayin that we say Birchas Hamazon Shalosh Shudas, we use that to make Havdalah.
Absolutely, we're gonna see that in the sugya.
So that's Chavilas. Chavilas is the same thing, no?
We're gonna see that's in our sugya. That's where it comes from.
Okay.
So the Gemara asks, what do you mean we don't make mitzvahs chavilas? Velo vatanya. I'll show you b'feish we do. Hanichnas lebeiso b'motzei Shabbos. Somebody comes in after Ma'ariv Motzei Shabbos. So there's a whole bunch of mitzvahs we do. Number one, Mavorach Alayayin. Then Valamor. And then Valabsamim, which is not exactly our order. And then Va'achakach Oimer Havdalah Alakos. Now, it seems to be implying that you do not use in the brisa, you don't use the kos that you benched with shalosh shudas, but you bring a new kos. However, says the brisa, v'im ein lo ela kos echad. Let's say he doesn't have any wine. He only has enough wine for the kos of benching for shalosh shudas. Meinicho la'achra mozen u'mishalshin kulum la'achrav. So you leave the kos of benching. You don't drink it after benching. You use the same kos and use all the other mitzvahs on that kos. So you're using benching and you're being mavdil. So here also you're doing two mitzvahs, the same like you did over there. Havdal and Kiddush, right, are analogous. Kiddush is on the way in, Havdal is on the way out, but it's from the same source, Zochar v'Shomor. And if the Rashbam said Chavilas is a problem because Birchas Hamazon Kori Kedusha Kiddush Hayom Klomer Shtei Mitzvahs was also Shtei Mitzvahs. How come over here we allow it? And for the Gemara, Ein Loi Shiny. Yeah, over there we were talking about a case L'Chatchila how to do it, but this brisa is Ein Lo. Ein Lo is shiny. Shasat Chak, you can do it, but if it's not Shasat Chak, you shouldn't do mitzvahs Chavilas, even by Havdalah. Freit the Gemara, the Hayom Tov Shechal Yosachar Shabbos. Right, this year Pesach, first day of Pesach is going to be Motzei Shabbos. The Islay. Now it's clear that everyone has yayin because you need at least four koisos on Pesach. So there's no lack of yayin. The Omer Rav Yaknaha, which is Yayin Kiddush Ner Havdalah. And yet, so you see, even when
Ner Havdalah, but okay.
Yayin Kiddush Ner Havdalah, that's Yakna, according to Rav.
Oh, Yakna, yeah, right.
Yakna, we're going to say, we follow Yakna Haz. We put Zman, the Shechianu is said last, but we follow. We say
Abaya holds Yakzana.
Well, what?
Abaya is the
We're
one.
not on Abaya yet. We're not there yet.
Okay.
Right now we're in Rav. Amar Rav Yakna, Yud Kuf Nun He, which is really how we do. We do Bor Pragofen. We then we said Asher Bochar Banu Mikolam. Mekadish Yisrael Vazmanim. Then we say Boirim Orea Eish, and then you say Hamavdil Ben Kodesh LeKodesh, and then you say Shechianu Yakna Haz, because we're not dealing yet with that aspect. But on let's say it was like this. We're going to see very clearly that because Rav here did not say Yakna Haz, we're not talking about the first day of Yom Tov. We're talking about the seventh day of Pesach. Because the seventh day of Pesach doesn't have a Shechianu. So that's why he says Yakna. So Amri midlo Amar Zman Bichlal de B'Shvishul Pesach Askinan. And therefore he might not have wine. Right? What was the what was the previous teretz? Ein lo shiny means if you don't have wine. So we wanted to prove that, well, everybody has wine on the first day of Pesach. There's mitzvah arba koises. You can't say that there was no wine there yet. Even so, Rav is allowing you to do mitzvahs chavilas through yakna. So the Gemara answers, no, Amri midelo Amar Zman. From the fact that Rav didn't say yakna has, but just said yakna, means he's talking about a yontif that falls on Shabbos without shechianu, which is when michlal de b'shvishol pesach haskina. Because on shvishol pesach we don't say shechianu. And therefore could be, by the time Shvishal Pesach rolls around, the Kol Mai Davale Ochale doesn't have any wine left, Velesle. And that's why it's still a situation of Einlo, shiny. Right? V'hayontav Rishon the Isle. I fate the Gemara. V'hayontav Rishon the Isle. But we have a statement of Abaya who says that on the first day of Yontav Pesach, where there is always wine, and yet V'amar Abaya yak zenehe, meaning Yayin Kiddush Zman Ner Avdallah. We don't paskin like Abaya, but yet he's putting multiple mitzvahs on the one Yayin. And Rava Amar yak nahaz. That's the machloikas Abaya and Rava. We paskin like Rava, that we do Yayin Kiddush Ner Avdallah Zman. Yet we're doing mitzvahs chavilos. And for the Gemara, Ella Havdalah v'Kiddush Chadam Milsehi. Like we said, Havdalah and Kiddush are the front of your hand, the back of your hand. I mean, it's the same thing. It's Kedusha coming in, Kedusha going out. Therefore, it's not considered two mitzvahs. Chadam Milsehi. However, over there, we were talking about eating a meal, going into Shabbos, and there was a question: do you bring two kosas? Can you do it all on one kos? And we said you got to bring two kosas because einos mitzvahs chavilos, because there you're trying to put together birchas hamazon v'kiddush. That is trei mili ninu. Birchas hamazon and kiddush, two different mitzvahs that have nothing to do with each other. And therefore, by trying to do it with one kos, you're looking cheap. You're looking like you're piling on mitzvahs in order to avoid tircha, which we don't want to do. Gufa. Okay. Let's analyze a little bit more in depth something you just mentioned. Yontif shechali yosachra Shabbos. When you have Yontif that falls on Motzei Shabbos, Rav Amar Yakno, Ushmuel Amar Yanahak. Rav says Yain Kiddush Ner Avdallah. Shmuel Amar Yanahak. Yain Ner Avdallah Kiddush. V'Rabba Omar Yahanik. Yain Avdallah Ner Kiddush. V'Levi Omar Kiddush Ner Yain Avdallah. Rabbanan Omri Kiddush Yain Ner Avdallah. Marbred Ravna Omar Ner Kiddush Yain Avdallah. Marta Omar Mishmed Rav Yoshua. Ner Yayin Avdallah Kiddush. Sholach le'avud Shmuel Rebbe. The father Shmuel sent to Rebbe Lamdeinu Rabbeinu Seder Avdallah's Heich. Tell us, Rebbe, how do you should do Avdallah? Sholach le Kacham Rabbi Shmuel Rav Yosi Shomer Mishum Aviv Shomer Mishum Yavshua ben Chananya Ner Avdallah Yayin Kiddush. And Amr Rav Chanina Marshal Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya LaMelech Sheyotze va'pirchas nichnas. This is the officer who is, appointed on, the king appoints, like a governor. The melech goes out of town, and the governor that he leaves in place comes in, nichnas. So what's the protocol? First, Malavinas HaMelech. Because of the cover of the Melech, they escort the Melech out of the town. Then they pay honor to the governor who's going to stay in his place. So similar here. So the Shita of Rabbi Shimon Chananya, where you said Ner Havdalah Yayin Kiddush, is because first you have to accompany the Shabbos to leave, because he's more important. He's like the Melech, and then do Kedusha. Ma'avi Allah. What's the halacha? Abaya Omar Yak Yayin Kiddush Zman Ner Avdallah. Rava Omar Yak Nahaz. Be'ilchas Karava. The halacha is like Rava. And that's how the Shulchan Aruch paskins. Okay, we'll stop here. Stop here. And we'll do, like we said, we'll do the blot tomorrow at 7.
7
Seven.
o'clock.
7
Okay.
o'clock. We won't have a lot to do. And then we'll do the Tsurb at 8:30, and Mario will send the information out to everybody about that, okay?
Correct. Very good.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good night.
See everybody.
Shkoyach, shkoyach, Eni.